Hey everybody, I'm excited for another take on the season 2 of Zooming with Kaymitch. I have a great guest that's about to join me soon, so without further ado, I'm finna wait and have her on here soon. All right, let's get ready to add her. Hey Coach, how are you doing? Oh wait, I can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, there you go. I can hear
Okay,
you. Great.
I can hear you. Is
Good.
it too loud in the background?
No, it sounds good.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Coach, for joining my Zoom today. I'm happy to have you as a guest on Zooming with K. Mitch. Without further ado, why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Karina Minjarez. I'm the head women's basketball coach here at York University.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, kind of starting off with the first question, from being a grad assistant, I seen you as a grad assistant at your university, and now you're a head coach. Kind of what did you learn from going from a grad assistant position to now a head coach?
That is a loaded question because I learned a lot of things from the GA position all the way to the head coaching position. I was the GA for about a year and a half while I was also serving as the assistant for that same time as a year and a half. So for me, I had a lot of responsibilities um, in that grad assistant position. I was thankful that my head coach was trusting of me to be able to handle all those responsibilities. So I learned everything from sweeping the floor to driving the bus to washing the jerseys to being developing concepts for the offensive styles I like to do, the defensive styles I like to, what I want to run, how I want to do things. A lot of errors that I got to kind of get out the way as a GA was really fun for that. When I did step into that head coaching role, I had some of those minor errors that typically first year coach, kind of like that freshman mistakes that you make or that the players make. I was able to do that as a GA right before I took on that head coaching role. So my journey is a little bit different in that because of all the responsibilities that I was trusted with to take on.
Right. And being in that grad position, I'm pretty sure it really helped you kind of just learn, like you said, from your head coach now to being a head coach to understanding the responsibilities of being able to handle a team and how to kind of play to your style and do everything in that nature. So with the next question, kind of now, how do you deal mentally with the demands of being a head coach?
With the demands of a head coach. So one thing I was raised I was brought up in a very strict household.
Mm-hmm.
So any type of responsibilities that is put on me, I take it and I run with it. It's my responsibility. So as a head coach, there's a lot of things that you learn and or you end up learning as a head coach that's different from being an assistant or a GA. Those from that GA position, one step over is the assistant or one chair over is the assistant. And then the assistant role, one chair over, it's a huge leap and bound different from the assistant coaching chair to the head coaching chair.
Right.
Um, it's but I embrace it because it's what I signed up for. As we all know, coaching is not just the X's and O's.
Right.
It's a lot more that goes into coaching, and I learned that very, very early. And as far as the impact it has on my just mental overall, it's tough at times,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, because as a coach, or how I run it or how I do things, I take on the responsibility and I have to be the strong one for the team. Um,
Absolutely.
I have to be the leader. If things don't go, if I don't go, things don't work if I don't work. So it's definitely a lot of pressure I do put on myself already naturally. So being a head coach, it does have different impacts on my mental that I wasn't. Um, we say we're ready and prepared for, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different when you're in it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm not a head coach, but I understand the demands and the how, like you said, when one thing happens, they're not looking at the assistants or not, like they're coming right to the head. So they're coming right to the source about it. So you know, you definitely have to be strong in that aspect of mentally being able to deal with the demands of not just your players, but also your assistant coaches, also the trainer, also the weight person, you
Yeah.
know. So now you're having to do so much. But thank you for sharing that part. Also, next question, how do you help shape your players' mental health?
So there's actually a lot of different things that I'm trying and that I'm doing for my players' overall mental health. Um, my players are everything to
Mhm.
me. I'm into coaching because I love what I do. I love impacting others. I love helping them or be a part of their growth and their journey. But definitely, there's a lot of different things I'm doing now in the program that um, all the researching and all the steps I took this summer
Mhm.
in order to be an even better coach for my students, or sorry, for my players is step one. So definitely a lot of different Twitter space groups that I joined, a lot of mentorship, a lot of reaching out to other coaches,
Mhm.
so that I can just kind of pick their brain about what do they do for their team's mental health? What does their programs look like? How do they do it? Just so I can learn from them, experienced coaches, um, on the court, off the court,
Right.
mentor, guidance. I don't know if that's a word, but guidance that I sought out.
Uh-huh.
So that's step one. So really preparing myself um, to be well rehearsed in the area of mental health and not just hashtag it and say, hey, we care about our mental health without actually doing the research behind it so that I can say the right things, have the right type of preparation for being able to, tackle deeper and harder conversations. So that's one. And then two is not being afraid to create an environment that can be uncomfortable. Everyone says, you have to be, in order to grow, you need to be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
We don't really dive deeper into what that looks like at times. So, specifically, what we're doing in our program this year, it's called Mental Mondays.
Okay.
So, we carved out a time on Mondays, and there's no time restraint on it. So, it might be 10 minutes, it might be an hour, we don't know. It's just going to depend. I like the way conversations flow and how it goes,
Mhm.
but those mental Mondays are going to be specifically for a time where we get to share, what's going on in our lives on a more personal level.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not just about talking and discussing it. It's more about what strategies can we use to help build up our mental health
Mhm.
as much as we pay attention to our physical health as an athlete. So we have planned for team building activities, not just team bonding where we're all having fun and bring,
Right.
that
Mhm.
type of stuff, but team building to be able to connect on deeper levels. I'm going to bring in different professionals. That's different therapists, counselors, psychologists that can come and talk to our team, just to open and broaden their horizons on what is actual available sources out there.
Mhm.
We're sharing insights of our lives. So me personally, I'm going to be sharing with my program, like just certain things that I've struggled with or how
Mhm.
I struggle with as a coach, because again, as a head coach, you got to walk in strong, put together, but you still got to be able to be vulnerable in a sense to show them like, hey, I'm
Right.
not bulletproof,
Mhm.
although I do walk around like this.
Mhm.
So I think that's important. Talking about healthy relationships and the importance of them, what they actually look like, because relationships are huge. Intimate relationships, friendships, relationships with the family, their future spouses, whatever that might look like. So just learning that, and then um, learning how to listen. They're going to listen, learn, and love one another, most importantly. And then we have some rules kind of set in place of how to create a safe space, how to make sure to have trust is to build trust, but to build trust is to have trust. So kind
Mhm.
of that back and forth thing that
Right.
we are covering in our locker room for that. So that's one big step that we're taking. Not just having I'm not really good at small talk. So making sure that these conversations we're having is very intentional. And then making sure my staff is well equipped and well rehearsed in the area of mental health to be able to tackle and not be afraid of tough conversations that will come up.
Yes, that's amazing. And just listening to the first part of everything of how you said like your players are everything. And I think that's a wonderful mindset to have, because as we know, when we get our players on board to where they listen and really hone into the idea of what the head coach has, it's literally nothing that they wouldn't do for the head coach. They're going to play hard. They're going to put in the extra time to really like, oh, we got to do this for coach, having that mindset to where they really like, as long as you are entrusting in them, they will entrust in you. So taking those extra steps, like you said, is really going to help the program. And I really am excited to see how you develop that. And I think that's wonderful, Coach.